Welcome to Work, Life and Conspiracies. I'm Michael Deegan, and this is the space where we talk about what's really going on in our jobs, our lives, and the stories nobody wants to explain. Some days it's serious, some days it's weird, and sometimes it's both. I'll cover the main topics of the week, pull in a few things from the news or online chatter, and every now and then I'll have a guest join in. No yelling, no buzzwords, just honest conversations that make you think. So let's get into it. Let's start with the facts. Across the Western world, from Boston to Berlin, from London to Los Angeles, Christianity is in decline, not just in private belief, but in public space, in institutional powers, and in cultural presence. Let's take the US as an example. In 2007, roughly 78% of Americans identified as Christian. By 2024, the number dropped to 62%, and if current trends hold, Christianity could become a minority in America by the 2040s. In the United Kingdom, church attendance has plummeted. Just 6% of Britons now attend weekly services. Scotland, once the land of Reformation, now sees more weddings performed by humanist celebrants than Christian clergy. In Western Europe, once the cradle of Christendom, the churches are empty, often quite literally. Many are being sold, demolished, or converted into bars, bookstores, or Airbnb rentals. This isn't just a dip in attendance, it's a civilizational shift. How did we get here? And the theories behind the decline. So what's behind this dramatic collapse? Let's explore 6 leading theories. First, modernization. As societies become more educated, more technologically advanced, and more urbanized, traditional belief systems tends to fade. This is what sociologists call the secularization thesis. Science and rationality offer new answers, and fewer people feel they need faith to explain the world. Second, welfare state. Historically, the church wasn't just a place of worship. It was the hospital, the school, the orphanage, and the social safety net. As governments expanded into these roles, especially after World War II, the institutional need for the church diminished. And thirdly, existential security. If your life is stable, your income steady, your healthcare accessible, and your society peaceful, you're less likely to turn to religion for comfort or protection. This pattern holds across multiple countries. The more secure a population feels, the less religious they tend to be. Fourth, family breakdown. Now this one is fascinating. Mary Eberstadt, a prominent scholar, argues that it's not just the religion that supports families, it's the families support religion. When people stop marrying, stop having children, or grow up in fractured households, religious transmissions break down. No Sunday school, no bedtime prayers, no shared rituals, faith fades. Fifth, the PIB model, participation, importance, belonging. Recent studies suggest that people stop participating in religious rituals first, then they stop believing it's important, and finally they stop affiliating altogether. It's a domino effect, slow at first, then sudden, and finally transformation. Some say religion hasn't declined, it's just evolved. People are still spiritual, they're just not organized. They're into mindfulness, crystals, astrology, the universe. Church has been replaced by yoga studios and TED Talks. A sermon is now on Instagram, and doctrine, your personal truth. What's at stake? Cultural and political fallout. Now let's talk consequences. What happens when religion, and specifically Christianity, retreats from public life? Let's start with culture. For centuries, Christianity shaped the moral fabric of Western nation. Ideas like forgiveness, human dignity, compassion for the poor. It influenced our art, our laws, our architecture, our calendars. Christmas, Easter, weekends, all rooted in Christian rhythms. Without a shared story, society risks fragmenting into tribes, political, ideological, and moral tribes. And we're seeing that. Polarization is rising. People don't just disagree anymore. They see each other as enemies. Without a common moral language, how do you even argue about right and wrong? Then there's civic life. Churches don't just preach sermons, they built communities. They ran food banks, charities, schools, shelters. With their decline, the state has stepped in, but it's often overstretched, impersonal, and lacking the moral glue that religious communities offered. So we have more bureaucracy, but less belonging. The global stage, secular West versus religious powers. Now here's where it gets geopolitical. Let's take a step back and look at the global chessboard. While the West is secularizing, other civilizations are doing the opposite, or doubling down on their spiritual foundations. Take China. While officially atheist, the Chinese Communist Party have been reviving Confucian values and suppressing Western liberal ideologies. There's a strong civilizational confidence rooted in thousands of years of cultural memory. Or India. Under Prime Minister Modi, Hindu nationalism has surged. Religion is not just private, it's political, national, and global. Now look at Iran. The Islamic Republic has fused religion and state into one. Despite sanctions, uprising, and international isolation, the regime endures, propped up in part by a strong religious identity. Even Russia, under Vladimir Putin, has urged the Russian Orthodox Church to protect national unity and justify geopolitical ambition. And what about the West? Without a unifying moral or spiritual story, are we becoming fragmented, fragile, and unmoored? Historical lessons, what the past can teach us. History offers some eerie parallels. Let's look at the Soviet Union. Under communism, the state declared religion obsolete, churches were destroyed, clergy imprisoned, but the Soviet system decayed, a moral vacuum emerged, and by the 1980s, underground churches were playing a key role in resistance and reform. Contrast that with the United States during the Cold War. Churches helped anchor the country's identity. One nation under God become a rallying cry. Civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King used Christian theology to confront injustice. Now fast forward to today. Is the West forgetting what gave it strength? Historian Niall Ferguson has warned that Western civilization may collapse, not from external invasion, but from internal erosion, moral confusion, cultural forgetfulness, demographic decline, and religion. For all its flaws, once served as a hedge against that collapse. Now, before we sound the doomsday alarm, let's consider some pushback. First, secular countries aren't necessarily failing. Sweden, Norway, and Japan are among the least religious societies on earth, and they score high in innovation, education, and life expectancy. Second, Christianity isn't gone, it's just changing shape. Evangelical churches are thriving in parts of the US. Traditional Catholicism is making a comeback among Gen Z, and around the world, especially in the global south, Christianity is booming. Finally, not everyone agrees that religion is essential to cohesion. Some argue we can build moral societies on reason, empathy, and human rights. It's a valid debate and one worth having. So is the decline of Christianity causing the West to fall? Or is it simply one symptom of broader changes, demographic, technological, physiological? There's no single answer, but here's what we do know. When faith disappears, something else fills the void. When unity fades, division creeps in. When meaning is lost, movements rise to manufacture it. Whether we see Christianity as truth, tradition, or mythology, its retreat is leaving a massive gap in the Western story. The question is what, if anything, will replace it? And that's it for today's episode of Work, Life and Conspiracies. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you spending some time with me. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to follow, leave a review, or share it with someone who you feel needs to hear it. New episodes will drop weekly. Until next time, take care of your work, your life, and question everything.